everybody. Welcome back to Warcraft Brew. This is episode number 26, and my name is Quissy.
And I'm Pasta Face.
And we are excited to be back, and the timing is actually really good because we're planning to record an episode today anyway, and then just as we're setting up, getting the green screen and the table together,
right.
We see that the news that they had just announced the release date for Shadowlands.
Hell yeah.
So the timing couldn't have been better. Because we didn't really have too much to talk about today, I guess. We're just gonna kind of update you guys on what we've been doing.
So yeah, my whole plan today was basically to shit on Shadowlands. And then they give the release date. I'm like, oh.
And that animated short, which we're gonna talk about as well. But so it's a good day for news, I guess.
Yeah.
Usually we talk about Classic first, but just because of the freshness and rawness of the Shadowlands news, I guess we will start with that. I'm going to be looking at my phone for notes, so don't mind me. It's not like I'm bored of you guys during the podcast.
I know, and here's the thing too, I was so bored with work this week that I just wrote 5 paragraphs, 5 full paragraphs, not like the little bitchy 4-sentence things and then you call it a day. It's like a novel each paragraph as to why I kind of figured out why at least I don't like retail as opposed to classic.
Okay.
So I had it in a document, but I don't know if I could find it right now.
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah. So we're
There's
just
no
gonna
fluff,
jump into
no
it.
fluff in this episode.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
No edits either.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so it's good that it's kind of coming full circle now. Our thoughts on Shadowlands. Well, I guess I could talk about the release date while you pull that up. Let me just get this.
Ooh, I found it. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Girl, we're good.
Cool. So,
Let's get ready.
Shadowlands will have a global launch, just like Classic WoW did, and BFA did as well.
Yes.
Did they do that for Legion? I don't remember, actually.
I think BFA was the first one that they did
Yeah.
that for, and that was really, really big.
Yeah.
For us, we were pretty fortunate. It went smoothly for us, but I think a lot of other people were not as
certain
successful. Yeah.
servers were
Were doo-doo garbage.
doo-doo garbage. So, if you're in the Americas, Pacific time, it's going to be on October 26th at 4 p.m. For us, that's Eastern time, 7 p.m. If you're in Europe, CET time, that's October 27th at midnight. That's kind of cool, a midnight release. I'd be into that.
Yeah.
Taiwan is 7 a.m. on the 27th. Korea is 8 a.m. on the 27th. And Australia and New Zealand, 10 a.m. on the 27th. So those are the global release times. If you're not sure, where you are in your region, they have maps and time zones selected. So just make sure you know when. I know a lot of people could get confused because there's 2 different dates. So you're wait, if it's the 26th for you, it's not the 26th for me, so
Right.
Just make sure you know when it's launching. So yeah, we've got our release schedule. Do we want to talk about the other Shadowlands news? What order do you want to do this in?
So, I just wanted to start off with, right away, as soon as I heard the release date, I got a little nervous. I've been hearing a lot of negative feedback in terms of the conduit system. I fully don't understand it as it is. And just that alone, just not being able to fully understand it, just means it's just bound to fail. If someone just can't walk right into it and understand something, it's not, I'm sorry, it's not worth it.
It's not set up for success or whatever, yeah.
Exactly. So here I see a negative,
going right into it. Even on the beta, when we saw the conduit system, right?
Right, and it was always constantly changing, which is good, especially in a beta, but if it's just still so up in the air, with a release date right around the corner, that's really not a good sign.
That's 2 months, right?
Yeah,
2 months away.
2 months away.
Wow.
And so, right away, just knowing that and seeing that, that's, to me, a negative pattern that Blizzard always has, and in particular with BFA too. There was this shit system in play with the Azerite armor, the Azerite just necklace, powering it up, and it was constantly evolving while the damn expansion was live.
Yeah, they kept changing it.
People are paying for this, and you're giving us a subpar service. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I see the writing on the wall with the conduit system. I'm very concerned.
I agree. No, I agree with you. Gosh, you said it last week too when we were streaming together on Sunday.
Yeah, which, speaking of, I'm sorry, I always like to be positive, especially when like there's a new expansion on the horizon, just such a new story too, which is so cool with like the jailer and Sylvanas.
Yeah.
And, you know, we even have like a little teaser of Arthas, which we'll like go into. I want to be positive.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy going into this, but I'm sorry, chat like poked me so much during the stream where I was like, fine, like I'm gonna give you like real deal, real pasta right here.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Yeah, we're gonna real talk.
Yeah, like real pasta. I'm genuinely concerned. I see a lot of pre-existing negative patterns from BFA that are being carried over into Shadowlands, and I'm sorry, that just really concerns me. This is, for Blizzard, I would say kind of like a last stand, just because BFA was so doo-doo garbage.
Yeah.
It was like if Shadowlands fails, then like who's gonna fucking play?
Well, here's the thing too. Like watching that cinematic, and we'll talk about that too with Uther and everything. It kind of made me really think like Shadowlands is the afterlife, and yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see all of these characters that have died and passed on to the Shadowlands that we haven't seen in expansions, and kind of see what they're doing in the afterlife, right? That's kind of like the premise of the Shadowlands.
They're bringing everyone back. Everyone that we've seen just previously die,
yeah,
they are going to come back. Everyone's going to say, hi, how are ya?
Yeah, oh man, you're here too?
Oh, how cool. Like in an attempt to just... this is like their trap card.
Well, I was gonna say it almost feels like the finale in a way. It's like bring all the cast members back for one last hurrah. Like, doesn't it kind of feel like an ending in a way?
Yeah, it kind of does. Like this is the final stand.
Is this gonna be the last expansion for World of Warcraft?
If it's shit, it is. It might as well be.
If it's shit, it is. Like, and yeah, playing off your point, if it's shit, it definitely is. And then they kind of have the story woven into it, right? Where it's like, it makes sense to end here as well.
Right, and so here's the thing too. By saying I'm concerned about Shadowlands doesn't mean I'm concerned necessarily about the storyline. I think the storyline is going to be amazing. I think the gameplay is not going to be as good as it could be.
Yeah.
And that's what concerns me. And I always say, I don't want my opinion to come across as factual. I fucking hate it when I hate it when people do that. Instead, I just, I always want this to be more of an open discussion of, I will bring something to the table. If you agree, great. Please say why. If you disagree, please say why. Like it's a discussion.
Absolutely.
It's not A or B.
Yeah, I mean, you want to hear differing opinions on each side. I mean, at least I always do.
Yeah, I know. Please prove me wrong, because I am very nervous.
A lot of people are.
Like Torghast is really cool. I think that's going to be a great feature. Bringing back some of the class identity, I think that's also a great feature. A lot of dungeon mechanics coming up too are really cool and fun to play, like not only just solo and like an LFR, or looking for a dungeon, looking for a system, but with friends too. That's also going to be fun. What I kind of figured out and pointed out to you recently was why I prefer Classic as opposed to Retail is because Classic, you're just plopped down into this world and you could go anywhere, you could do any quest line. Each zone kind of has like a main storyline, but it's not as cut and dry.
And you could go to multiple zones. You don't...
At any point.
Yeah.
At any point. You could stop here, start there, like, doesn't matter. In Retail, what I saw in BFA, and I'm very concerned with in Shadowlands, is they grab you by the hand and they're like, no, here's how you play. This is how you're going to play. This is the main storyline. And if you want to do dailies, great. But there's really not much else to do after that.
And you have to complete the main storyline in order to like unlock, you know, certain things in the game, like things that you need or would probably
like
want.
Flying, absolutely.
So you do, you're kind of forced to go through this main storyline, absolutely. Another thing about Classic, like I was thinking of my friend Taxcat in our guild in Classic.
Right.
He'd like grinded his way to 60 practically. Like he barely did quests.
I know. It's like the funny thing is too, like if you just seriously want to go like the South Park route and kill boars until level 60, you could do that.
That's mostly what he did. He like just like, and that's kind of like, I feel like an old school mentality, just like zone out, grind on mobs all day and get XP, you know? Reminds me of like Ragnarok Online back in the day, because you didn't have any quests in that game. You just literally grinded mobs all day. So I like that too every once in a while. Or even just like if I'm farming gold now, I guess if you're max level you don't get XP anymore, but even just farming gold mindlessly is kind of like that mentality for me. Like sometimes I'll just randomly go to Fellwood on my mage and just kill Furlbogs there for Timber Maw rep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not in a rush. I'm just kind of like, it's very like soothing in a way to just kill Furbogs all day.
Yeah, and you know, like by saying this, I'm not shitting on the daily system.
Yeah.
For one, I really like dailies.
I like dailies too, yeah.
Yeah, a great addition. But when dailies are pretty much like the only other thing that you could do, like there's no other side quests, it's just here's the main story and then here are some dailies. That's an issue. You're basically telling me how I should be playing your game. Either I'm going to be playing the main storyline and do my dailies until I wait until tomorrow, or I'm just going to try my luck at ICC and try to get invincible. Like, I'm either going to mount, try to get a mount or like play the main storyline.
Yeah.
And that's really it. That's the pattern that I see, at least in BFA, and I'm kind of seeing now from the beta going into Shadowlands. Now there is going to be Torghast, which is great. There are going to be dungeons, there are going to be raids, but like when you're not doing a dungeon, when you're not doing Torghast, when there are no raids, what else are you going to do? It's just they tell you how to play the game, and that's what I finally figured out what I don't like about retail.
Or BFA at least, yeah. I liked Legion. We both liked Legion a lot.
Right. And I think Legion kind of had an aspect of, hey, here's the main storyline of this little zone.
Yeah.
You could leave at any time and come in and just, I mean, but they started around then. They started doing that.
Yeah, it definitely started, I mean, that brings up a good point. Oh man, what was I going to say? Totally just slipped my mind.
I'm sorry. Like when I get excited, when there's like something to talk about, like when I'm talking, that's a sign that something is either like very positive or very negative.
Let you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I kind of have like that Silent Bob mentality of I'll just like be quiet and like be in the moment, be in the conversation until like there's something that just needs to be said. And I feel like this needs to be said.
No, please, by all means. No, I remembered what I was going to say. Oftentimes in my chat, on Twitch, people will come in and be like, oh, are you going to play Shadowlands? Or like, oh, are you going to play Classic even if Shadowlands is out? Like, ask me these questions. And then we get into these discussions about like people's opinions on modern/retail WoW versus Classic and like which game they prefer, which totally fine, doesn't matter what version of the game you prefer, as long as you're having fun and enjoying yourself. That's always been my motto. But it seems like it's come to the consensus that a lot of people think Classic is a lot more community-oriented for so many reasons. So it's such a social game. There's a community on your server, like each server has its own community in a way, and culture. Even with guilds, you're very dependent on your friends or other people that you meet along the way, or even pugs to progress through the content if you wanted to do a dungeon or eventually raid or help if you need help farming something. You really have to depend on another person to help you out.
Right.
For the most part.
It's not as simple as, oh, I'm just going to have a couple of clicks and then get matched with someone. You need to type it out. Exactly.
Or like ask somebody in your guild, like, hey, is anybody free to run me through strat, or something. so that's, the comparison where they think, the opinion of the chat. Sorry, I'm like stumbling on my words here.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm trying my best to articulate it. So Classic is, more of like a social community game, whereas retail/modern, because I think it's supposed to be called modern.
Fuck it.
I don't know.
I'm calling it retail. You can choose to be butthurt by the word retail. That's on you.
It says retail in my file directory, so that's why, like, Blizzard named it retail in my program files / World of Warcraft directory, so that's why I call it retail. I didn't make the file name.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just calling it like I literally see it. Dude,
yeah, exactly. Whereas retail is more of a single-player RPG game. That's really what people feel. At least the consensus from my Twitch chat and YouTube comments. It feels more of like a single-player game where you don't have to communicate with anybody if you don't want to. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people are really socially, anxiety, socially awkward.
Hi, how are you?
And it's hard for them to communicate. And like, trust me, I've definitely felt that way for many years playing WoW. I'd be like too shy to ask people for help or like talk when I'm in a dungeon group. It's just like, I'm just like, oh, I just want to do this quest and be out of here, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
So I totally understand like how it helps aid those people who just are a lot more introverted and just don't want to talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like two sides of the coin, right? But the point with retail is I think they try to appeal to more audiences, I guess. They could appeal to the introverted person,
just everyone.
even a casual
player.
player.
Cater to everyone.
But they also cater to the hardcore community as well with Mythic Plus and Mythic rating.
Right. I mean, just so much has changed since Classics. Over 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember. So we were talking to Omar once, and oh God, I'm trying to remember what he said. He was like, just to put things into perspective for you, like back in the day, it was wrong or sketchy to talk to people over the internet, and it was sketchy to get into someone's car that you didn't know.
A stranger's car, yeah.
A stranger's car. So what do we do today? I mean, pre-COVID, obviously, we talk to strangers on the internet, and we actually organize for a stranger to come pick us up in their car. Like, it's just...
Yeah, on like Uber or Lyft.
Uber, yeah, absolutely. So just so much has changed.
In 15, 16 years.
15 years. And I'm starting to think one of the issues is how just PvP in terms of just the standard gameplay or like, games for PvP that have PvP, PvP capabilities. What's that word I'm looking for?
Yeah, PvP enabled
like a
or
PvP
player versus player.
PvP aspect of the game. I think player versus player games like that have evolved so much and so fast too. It's really hard to keep up. And I think that's something that retail keeps tripping over is a lot of these PvP games, your classes do have different abilities, but ultimately you have like about an equal chance as your opponent to win. You just have different abilities.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they got tripped up a little bit too in retail, and that's why we lost so much class identity, was because, like, if you take Classic, for instance, mages are just fucking broken. Mages are OP.
That's why I have two of them.
and with poor warriors, you really have to put in, like, time and effort and then some. Like,
and
you have to
thousands of gold,
you have to know life, continuously know life just to be relevant.
Yeah.
Like, but that's kind of the charm of it, and that's kind of the fun.
Yeah. It's something to work towards.
Right. But especially with like world PvP and just a whole bunch of different arenas in retail, I think that's why they try to make every class kind of equal. That's why everyone has like a stun and escape. Like that's why everyone has basically the same abilities.
Cookie cutter abilities in a way.
Exactly. And I'm starting to think that's what's hurting retail, is just this kind of oddly balanced PvP aspect, as PvP games have just been evolving over the years.
Yeah.
They just kind of had to try to find a solution so that everyone is happy.
Yeah, which, newsflash, you'll never be able to obtain that, achieve that, whatever.
I know.
Nobody
So
will ever be happy.
might as well keep
Completely happy, yeah.
class identities. It's
Which they tried to bring back in Shadowlands beta, and like, yeah, I haven't been able to play it as extensively as I had wished, but playing my paladin, having an aura is nice again, but it still felt very far away and different from my classic paladin.
well said.
And I don't know if that's, if it necessarily should feel like classic or not. Like, it's a 15-year gap.
Exactly.
So maybe it shouldn't.
I think it definitely needs to be updated.
Yeah.
However, I'm not gonna claim to be like this crazy gamer shaman.
Yeah.
But taking my shaman from classic, for instance.
Yeah, elemental.
Yeah, my elemental shaman from classic, and then going into the beta, just trying out a shaman. I could see that, they have brought back some class identities, but I want more because it's still so different.
Yeah, everything's like all over the place, it felt like.
Yes, and it's really jarring and unsettling. Just, especially if, it's just another version of the game that you could play. You kind of want to have this, this cross. Oh God, it's just so hot.
It's really hot in here, yeah.
I keep forgetting words more than usual. You just, you oh, God.
Crossover?
Yes,
Crossover.
Thank you. You just want this crossover. You want people to go from classic and retail, or you want people to be able to and want to go from classic to retail and vice versa. That's just...
Do they, though?
I used to.
I mean, yeah, I would
think it
love
would
to
be-
be able to, swap between the two, but I guess that's also what gives classic its charm. It's just so different, and
Right.
there are imperfections and imbalances, and yeah, mages could kill 2,000 mobs at once, while a warrior will die to a single target mob 2 levels lower than it. It's just the charm of the game, and I
Right.
think a lot of people like that.
Right. I just want to see... I think it's a great step, bringing back some abilities and some class identities. I want to see more, because it's just a taste at this point. It's not nearly enough.
So let me ask you this, because I feel like a lot of the cookie cutter builds nowadays have this. Did your shaman, like, I'm guessing you still use mana,
Yes.
did you have any sort of like combo point or special
I did.
power?
I did. I had a combo point, and I didn't fully understand
What is
it.
that shit? I had no idea. I was just asking you because it feels like every class now is like a build-up, like combo point build-up. Ret Paladin, or Pallies in general, you build up the holy power, and then you spend your
You blow it,
power
yeah.
on your abilities. What is with that? They gave that to almost every class.
I know. And then again, when everyone has it, it's just not fun.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking classic terms like rogues with combo points or feral druids. That is unique to those two classes,
Right.
But now it feels like everybody, in a way, has those rogue-like combo points where you build up and then you spend it on the big ability.
Right. And I feel like with that, there really aren't any mana issues anymore. And I feel like that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
I think in Classic, it's really fucking annoying that I have to drink after every pull. Yeah, whether it just be like 1 mob, 2 mobs, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the class really either. It's very annoying. However, on the opposite side of the spectrum, I never have to do anything about my mana in retail. And what kind of gameplay is that? And that's kind
Why
of...
have mana?
Exactly. That's what I'm kind of driving at here. I think the story is going to be great. I think these little side elements of the game are going to be great. But I think the overall gameplay of the game is not...
It's lackluster.
It's really... Yeah, absolutely. And it's just so frustrating to see just like these constant little patterns that just persist throughout each expansion. And I forget, when did I say this? I guess when we were talking to Chocolate and Adam.
Yeah, maybe. We were on
their
Pugcast. Shout out to Pugcast.
Yeah. But every expansion that comes around, I feel like they take the entire expansion, setting up this new mechanic that's just gonna really
new system.
Yeah, this new system that's just gonna dictate really how the expansion is gonna go, the feel of the expansion, what you need to do.
Yeah.
They take the entire expansion, setting that up, only come next expansion just to throw it out, just to throw it away. Whether the feedback was positive or negative, they just throw it away.
Yeah.
I think that's, I don't know, I mean, for lack of a better term, I think that's kind of stupid. It's, if you hear positive feedback, like with the Legion artifact system, if you hear that, wouldn't you consider it a little less work to have to be done just to build on that into the next expansion?
Reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. Just build on that idea.
Yeah.
Add to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just evolve it a little bit, as opposed to, nope, just scrap that, we're just recreating the wheel again.
Yeah.
Like, who thought of that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way, how you leveled your weapon translated into the neck piece where the neck piece leveled, right? But I remember I was so confused when BFA launched, like what to do with the neck piece and like how it worked. I was like, is this like my artifact weapon? Is it not? Like, I don't understand.
So here's the thing, too. It just looked like it. It just basically, whenever you opened that little pop-up window, it just looked like the artifact system. It didn't actually carry over anything other than just kind of vaguely resembled the artifact system.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, and it's something like the Mage Tower, and I know I think it was you told me this, that some developer was talking about how they created the Mage Tower and how it was very difficult.
Yes.
or took a lot of time and effort to make the Mage Tower.
So yeah, when I had Omar's ear, I was just like, hey,
oh,
man,
from Omar,
yep,
okay.
I just gotta say, like, I really enjoyed this system, and I would love it if we see some aspect of that going forward. And I mean, it was kind of world crushing, but I mean, again, there's just so much going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that, like, I'm really glad that he kind of just smacked me with reality a little bit. And he just said, he basically was getting at, well, like, it does take us a lot of time and effort, and a lot of work is put behind just creating like a layout for every, for every class, and then every spec of every class, and creating rewards for every spec of every class. Like, that takes a lot of time to do.
A lot of resources.
Yeah, a lot of resources. So I'm like, hey, that's cool. Doesn't mean I don't think you guys should do that. I think maybe some priorities need to get swapped around.
Well, just at the great success of the Mage Tower, like, why not... I know it took a lot of resources, but hey, like, when you work really hard on something and put in a lot of effort, and it pays off, you might as well invest the time on something that you know is going to succeed, rather than trying to create something new that people might not like.
Exactly. So it's just, again, like, just please hear positive feedback and evolve those things. Don't just scrap everything come a new expansion. It's just not a smart way to conduct business. It really isn't, and you're just basically wasting everyone's time saying, okay, that was great, come up with something new. It's just I'm sorry, that's a really old school mentality, and I think that's something that needs to die.
I just, going back, wrapping up, I guess this topic, this is their last chance to really make amends for BFA, because nobody likes BFA. I know one person who likes BFA, Corey. Corey's the only person, Missildine, he loves BFA. And I gotta ask him. Yeah, no.
I'm not laughing at him.
I'm glad.
I'm
glad he likes BFA.
It's really...
But he's like the only person I know, I think, who like really advocates for BFA. So aside from Corey, most people that I speak to greatly dislike BFA, and for various reasons and whatnot. So yeah, I feel like it's safe to say BFA as an expansion was not good. it's safe to say you could almost say it was a failure in a way. I don't know, not a complete failure. I don't want to be that, cut and dry, but it follows that pattern that the fans, say, like, good expansion, bad expansion, good expansion, bad expansion.
So, I think they got 2 trap cards set up.
Yeah.
So, if Shadowlands does not really do well,
yep.
As soon as they start smelling the shit show, they're gonna be like, oh wait, hold on, let me just pull something. Yeah, what is TBC?
Oh, TBC Classic.
TBC.
Oh, summer 2021. You heard it here first.
So I mean, like, they got us for the next couple of years. They do.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
It's just in terms of retail, like I really hope they start focusing on aspects of gameplay now, which it seems like they are. Again, like, mechanics to dungeons are really nifty and cool.
Yeah.
And involve a lot of teamwork now.
Mythic Plus, yeah. Absolutely.
Mythic Plus
affixes, that's the word.
Yeah, all the zones look gorgeous. Torghast Tower, I'm just very excited to see. But it's just the bread and butter of every expansion, which is the quest lines. Which are the quest lines. That's English. Which are the quest lines. That's what I'm starting to kind of hone in on and focus on and kind of start to question. That system really grabs you by the hand and kind of pulls you through, saying, this is how you should play this. Don't go that way, go this way.
Where it kind of goes back to people saying it feels like a single player game, like you're playing a like a game on PlayStation 4, where, like, they walk you through the campaign mode, story mode.
Right.
That's kind of what WoW feels like in a way.
Absolutely. And there's so many games out right now that, of course, as a company, as Blizzard, of course you would want to, make sure you're up to par and able to compete with them. But when you're so iconic, like, you guys created vanilla WoW. Like, when you're that iconic, you don't change to match someone else. Other people change to match you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's there is a little bit of a confidence issue. And there's one thing, I'm sorry, there's one other thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
Before I just kind of pass it off to you.
Oh no.
My beef with retail.
Yeah, go for it.
There's a system where you do have to earn flying every expansion, which is annoying, but I get it balances the system, and yeah, cool. I don't mind so much doing it. It sucks, but I get it. 'Cause in a sense, that's kind of, it kind of parallels to Classic in a way of, when you saw someone with, like, decked out gear, like, a certain weapon, they put in the time and the effort.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to flying. Somebody put in the time and the effort to be that badass.
Yeah.
So my question, or my kind of point, is too, I'm starting to look at transmogging as a maybe why I don't like retail as much as Classic.
I never liked transmog.
So I think it's kind of cool. It goes along the lines of customizing your character and making your character look the way you want it.
Which people really like.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
What I'm starting to think now is, if you're going into a new expansion and everyone looks like a badass, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. It should be disabled until you hit max level.
I think it should be unlocked like flying as well. I think that ability for transmogging should be unlockable. Yeah, because
I agree with you.
And this is what I see constantly too, at least with BFA. There were pretty awesome like weapon designs.
Yeah, cosmetic.
Armor designs, which were great, but you never got to see them because everyone had their transmog on. So it's like...
That's a really good point, yeah. You couldn't enjoy the current expansion's designs.
Exactly. Someone on the developer team put in the time and the effort to design this armor that's not even going to get, like, a big hoopla, like not even 2 seconds of screen time, or, like, very, very rare. So
that's a great point,
I'm starting to think, like... And please let me know in the comments, because I want this to be an open discussion as to, should it be basically an unlockable skill similar to flying.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, and we talked about this on Pugcast as well. In Classic, you know, you go to Ironforge for the first time, you're level 7, and you're mismatched armor, you don't even have shoulders yet. And you see this tier 2 paladin in full judgment gear, and they look so badass, and you're like, holy moly. When I get to level 60, I want to look like that.
Right.
I gotta get to level 60 first. So it kind of gives you like that spark, that motivation, among other things too, like gaining new abilities and spells and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But like just seeing somebody look like a total Chad and you wanting to strive to be that, but not being able to obtain that right away. You gotta freaking work for it.
Right.
And all throughout your leveling span, you know, even into your 50s, you're mismatched. And that's part of the charm of the game to me, is just kind of working your way up. You're starting from little, starting with nothing, and just building yourself up. As we spoke about this on the podcast, being able to transmog to make yourself look like you're wearing full tier 2 at like level 15 in BFA or like Shadowlands, like where's the fun in that?
Right.
Like you already look like a badass, and I feel like you should want to strive to look like a badass. I remember my friend used to play Final Fantasy XI, which was an MMORPG, and I remember he was like, he no-lifed the game, obviously, but I think it was like a samurai armor set that he wanted to work towards, and it looked so badass, and he like slowly collected, you know, like one piece at a time, and it took like God knows how much time, but like he eventually obtained all those armor pieces. And he was like so proud and like, yo, I look like a fucking badass now because I put in the time and the effort, and it motivated him too to progress through that and get it done.
Right.
So I feel like it's long story short, make transmog an unlockable privilege.
It again, like that, what you said, just motivation. You need motivation to play the game. And I'm sorry, dailies aren't enough.
And you shouldn't feel like a winner
every
right
single
away.
Time. I know.
You gotta work towards being a winner.
And the tricky part is, especially with retail, so much in the lore has happened.
Yeah.
That it's really difficult to move forward, to progress forward, and not take what just previously happened into account.
Yeah, Champion of Azeroth.
And so I think, absolutely, that's how we got to Champion of Azeroth, because so much shit has happened.
Yeah.
When in reality, every new expansion, I'm sorry, I want to start with a clean slate. I want to be a fucking nobody, just similar to Classic.
Yeah. Are you a nobody in Shadowlands? Like with the...
You kind of are, but kind of not.
I don't think they address you as Champion of Azeroth and all that BS, right?
I don't think so, but I think you technically are someone.
Yeah. Well, it's
correct me if I'm wrong.
That humble approach in Classic, that humble beginning with Classic. You start out as a nobody,
right,
and you work up your rapport and gain levels and gain gear.
You can make a name for yourself in any which way you want.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what makes Classic worth playing. I could make a name for myself.
Yeah.
And that's...
if you put in the effort and the time.
That's what I'm realizing about retail, is that there's a lot of... There are really essentially a lot of stop signs. Just being like, nope, no, don't do that, do this. Yeah. No, don't play it like that, play it like this. Like,
yeah. All right, well, I think we got our point across. Let's talk about that cinematic real quick.
Oh yeah, oh my god.
So what's the official title of it? I'm actually going to pull it up. So,
spoilers, by the way. If you don't want to get spoiled, if you haven't seen the cinematic, if you want to watch it yourself before we kind of give our opinion, I don't even know if you should put up a timestamp, at least for YouTube.
Well, yeah. I guess a spoiler warning. It's the part of the Afterlives series coming out in BFA. It's a series of animations. And they released one today at around the same time they announced the launch date for Shadowlands, and this was totally calculated because, of course, it features Uther, which I was super happy to see, Uther, fellow paladin. And, of course, Arthas is in it, too, which is, again, another one of their trap cards. Oh, the story shit? Arthas!
Yep.
People lose their shit whenever Arthas is mentioned.
I know,
it's like
I
such an
know.
easy way to get people hyped.
But it really is the best storyline
Oh,
they
it
ever
is.
had and
It
probably
is.
will ever have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, kind of a cool mentality of, hey, that's a really good thing. Let's not recreate the wheel for this one. You know?
Yeah.
They actually got that. They always had that in their back pocket.
They always have Arthas in the back pocket, yeah.
But that is also what scares me, is that because I think that just proves that this is really a final stand for retail.
Yeah.
Because they are finally pulling that out of their back pocket.
Yeah, they got to pull the Arthas card.
They got to
the Lich
pull
King.
the Arthas card. So that's not good. That's not a good sign. It's cool. I'm so fucking
Oh yeah, we
excited.
love it, of course.
So, I mean, of course, we all kind of knew this was coming, but like to see it finally in play, that there is a huge hint that there's going to be an Arthas presence.
Yeah.
Especially in the Maw. Mm-hmm. Like, badass, dude. Just so cool.
Yeah, it is super cool, and you know, like I said, their trap card works. But yeah, I definitely recommend everybody go check it out. It's called Afterlife's Bastion.
Beautifully done. Always beautifully done.
Beautiful. I love that animation art style. It is so gorgeous.
The art style, the music, the voice acting too is just always A+. Always A+.
Superb. And the art team always kills it. And I haven't heard much of the music from Shadowlands yet either, but I know it's going to be great because the music from every expansion is always amazing.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I think so there's a point in the cinematic that they start talking about the runes on Arthas's blade. And so I kind of have a theory. I don't know if you guys have this theory too. It's not really much, but I thought it was very interesting because they just start talking about this one presence in the mortal realm that really shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And of course, you know, it's on Arthas's blade, so you automatically think, oh, hey, they're talking about Arthas. I don't think they're talking about Arthas there. I think they're really talking about the jailer. And really how the jailer has had kind of a toe in the mortal realm, just dipping that toe in the mortal realm for quite some time, and has been, you know, kind of tampering.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about the jailer right there. And it's also been a while since we've heard anything in regards to the jailer.
That went from
too.
100 to 0 real quick.
Yeah, right?
It's like anything everybody was talking about was the jailer.
I know.
Everything,
So something that I always love to do is just look for like tiny little hints in every single, any storyline. I mean, whenever, I mean, you know me, whenever you watch a movie with me, you're like, oh my God, like I didn't necessarily pick
that went
up
over
on
my
that.
head, yep.
Yeah.
And you pick up on those.
That was a moment where I was like, I don't think they're talking about Arthas there. Like, who could they be talking about? I think it's the jailer. So.
Interesting theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know what that means. I don't know. Help me out. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah. So I think the jailer is a little bit more intertwined into the story than we had been previously aware of.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
yeah.
I think that's.
Thank you for coming in my TED Talk.
Thank you for
guys.
your TED Talk. We do have to wrap it up here, though.
Shit, dude, it's so hot.
It's really hot in here. We have Taekwondo tonight. We just started going back to Taekwondo last night, so we're all sore today, and of course we're going back tonight.
And I just want to say, of course, there are COVID measures in place.
Oh yeah.
You know, not everything is back to normal, but we're kind of seeing positive steps in the right direction, or hopefully positive.
Yeah, definitely.
They whipped out this like full mist machine, like the sanitizing mist machine.
Yeah.
As soon as everyone left, they were like it was full on Ghostbusters in there.
It looked like a Ghostbusters, or like a T-shirt launcher, but instead of launching T-shirts, it emitted sanitizing mist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was interesting. We also have to wear masks, and we're like kind of have like our own little 6 square foot like area of the mat that we stand on.
So we are boxed off from everyone else.
Yeah. So which I kind of liked having my own little space.
I know, martial arts could get like really up close and personal.
Yeah, I like that. So we're going back tonight, so we got to get ready for that. I mean, yeah, we didn't talk about Classic today, but AQ's out. There's not going to be a lot of Classic content, I feel like, going forward until Nax comes out. So, and I think there is going to be a big content gap. So a lot of people will get maybe a little bored of Classic, maybe a little, you know, put it on the back burner, especially if Shadowlands is coming out, to give Shadowlands a try.
That's what I'm talking about, like that cross-foot traffic.
They love spacing out the content that way, and it is perfectly spaced out. Shadowlands coming out between AQ and Naxxramas.
It's calculated, dude.
Definitely.
It really is, and it's smart. But I think there should be more of an incentive to promote, I guess, positive cross-foot traffic.
Yeah, you want Classic players to be playing Shadowlands, and you would love for Shadowlands players to be playing Classic. I mean, you don't have to pay an extra subscription to play Classic. They're just kind of included in the bundle. So we'll see what happens. But I think Nax is going to be super hype. And like I said, my prediction for TBC is summer 2021. That's my guess. I don't know when they're going to announce it, though. Maybe early next year, because they're going to do some kind of virtual convention.
Oh, yeah,
Blizzard.
That's right. That's coming up. That's coming up in January. That's a couple months.
I know. We're ready. Like, what did we hear on the radio? It's 4 months from Christmas or something. We're
oh
like,
my God. That made me
It's
piss
still
my
100
pants,
degrees
dude.
out here.
I know. I'm melting. Like, this whole podcast, I've just been
I'm
melting.
sorry. Yeah, drink some of the seltzer.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. We got to cool off. We got to turn the AC on. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are Warcraft Brew, proudly featured on Warcraft Radio. Please check out warcraftradio.com/shows to view all of the amazing podcasts and talent that are part of the Warcraft Radio community. You could also find us on all of our socials. I'm Quissy TV on Twitch and Twitter.
And I'm the Pasta Face on Twitch and Twitter as well.
And I've been doing almost daily streams, so definitely stop by. And on Sundays, we started doing dual streams together, so you could catch the both of us live on Twitch on Sundays.
Hell yeah.
We also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys know who you are. Probably have your names listed on the screen somewhere over here.
Whoa.
But if you're interested in additional ways to support us, you can go to patreon.com/warcraftbrew. It helps fund everything that you see with this podcast. You can't see the green screen behind us, but there is one. We just got an extra light for the green screen.
That we do need to implement. We just got the news of Shadowlands just hit Twitter, and we were like, we gotta go.
We gotta go. We got cows. I'm okay to go. Yeah.
I'm okay to go. And you also released a chill T-shirt.
Oh yeah. So we got some Quissy and Pasta merch. We have this Quissy T-shirt. We have some chill T-shirts for my Horde Guild chill, which we may or may not have a couple on our way to test out.
Ooh.
And we also have the nice chest shirt too.
Oh
so
yeah, hell yeah.
Be sure to check out the merch. And yeah, don't forget to just sub on YouTube. We actually just hit 20,000 subs on YouTube. So
hell yeah, girl.
Thank you guys for all the support. And if you haven't already, please hit the sub button on YouTube. Keep that number climbing. Oh, did I miss anything?
Whew.
I think that's everything.
Glad I got all that off my chest.
Yeah.
I feel like I rarely speak, but like that was a lot. It was just built up.
I let you go. I loved it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.